Hello and welcome to Competology Academy, and today we are going to discuss an important topic related to the economic condition of Pakistan. And Pakistan is roaming here and there from one country to another country, one nation to another nation with a begging ball and saying that please give me money, and how are the conditions are good for India, in which way India will get benefited, and what are the situations because of which Pakistan is in this condition that it is roaming with a begging ball, and even its arch friends, its unconditional friends have now pulled out their hand from helping Pakistan. So today we are going to discuss this topic, and please, those who are first on the channel, do subscribe our channel, and let's get started. So here IMF is also giving many conditions to Pakistan that do this, do that, then only we are going to give you money, otherwise we are not going to give you money, because IMF had reached out to, Pakistan had reached out to IMF for 22 times since its independence. Roughly, this process started around 61 years ago. And within 61 years of time span, Pakistan has used the facility from the IMF for 22 times. And its process of reaching out to IMF started way behind in 1958. And through various systems, extended facility or standby mode, whatever it is, Pakistan has used the facility, credit and bailout facility from IMF for 22 times. And most of the time what happened, whatever Pakistan had promised to IMF that we will do this, we will reduce our debt, we will reduce our subsidies and all those kind of things, but most of the time Pakistan didn't fulfill its promise, didn't kept its promise, and because of that, again for the next time Pakistan had to go to IMF. And this time again Pakistan was trying to do the same thing, but IMF was strict this time, and earlier IMF was a bit reluctant to give the money to Pakistan, mainly because of the pressure from United States of America, because in the past days Pakistan was in the American lobby and not in Chinese lobby. And Pakistan was thinking that we will get the money from our friendly nations, from China, whatever it is. But China is like a merchant banker, right? So China will give the money to Pakistan only when China will see any benefit out of that. They are not going to give money to Pakistan for philanthropy. And for that matter, what happened? China straight away told to Pakistan that you have used most of our money, which we had given you for CPEC, to invest in your own terrorist activities, crediting your own foreign accounts and all those kind of things. And the armed forces personnel, officials, etc. have got benefited out of that money, and the politicians have got benefited out of that money. And for that matter, we are not going to give you any more money as of loan or whatever it is, or for the CPEC project even, but we will do the expenditure by our own, we will use our own workforce and whatever it is, and you have to go to IMF for the bailout package and accept whatever they say. So that was the situation. So the current bailout process which is going on is the 23rd bailout process, in which now the IMF have took a hard line that you have to fulfill such kind of conditions, then only we are going to give you the money. And most of the bailout packages are being used by Pakistan. Pakistan is a nation which has used the bailout process, bailout package from IMF for maximum number of times. Even if we talk about India, then before Pakistan, India had to go to IMF in 1957 itself, but till date India have only used IMF facility for 7 times only, and most of the time what happened, India had accepted the conditions of IMF and fulfilled its promises, and because of that what has happened, after 1991 India didn't had to go to IMF. So 30 years, more than 30 years have lapsed, and India didn't had to go to IMF for a bailout package since 1991 liberalization, privatization and globalization, and that was also on the recommendation of IMF itself, and it was definitely helpful for India. And now if we go on to consider the situation, then situation is very bad this time for Pakistan, and Pakistan is going to crumble under the pressure. And why it is so? None of the friendly country is willing to help Pakistan. Saudi Arabia and UAE, as we had seen in the earlier videos, told Pakistan to be friend with India and sort out the differences between them, and thereafter what will happen? They will help out in Pakistan, and Pakistan will also get benefited from the cheap imports from India, and that will be a better situation for Pakistan. So that was the thing. China is on the other side. China is on the side of IMF. China have straightforward told Pakistan that we are not going to give you money, accept the conditions of IMF and take the bailout package. And why China have changed its stand? Because earlier China was giving money to Pakistan, bailing out Pakistan, because of the fear of conditions of IMF, because IMF was having one condition that whatever loan you have taken from other nations, you have to clarify it, you have to make it public. And for that matter, China was of the view that if we will allow Pakistan to take bailout package from IMF, then what will happen? Then the situation will be very difficult for China, because all the investments, all the loans that have been forwarded by China to Pakistan will be in public picture. So many of the nations will be objecting it that China is doing the debt trap again to Pakistan, like it had done with Sri Lanka and all those kind of things. However, this time China is on the opposite side. They are saying that Pakistan, lena hai le lo, I don't care. And whatever the books the IMF is saying that you have to make it public, loan books and whatever it is, make it public. We don't care, because China is working everywhere for profit motive. And here in Pakistan, they are losing the money time and again. They are giving the bailout package to Pakistan. And वो लोग खा पी के पचा के खत्म करके फिर बोलते अब give me money. So that is the situation. Pakistan is not using the money, using the bailout package, whatever they are getting, to improve their situation, but they are using it to service their own desires and the older debts. And that is the difficult situation for Pakistan. And that is why China have said it clearly that go to IMF, accept the conditions, take the bailout package, whatever it is, we don't care. And the conditions of IMF are very tough to accept for Pakistan. And that is because the situation in Pakistan is very difficult. Already the prices are on the higher end. The inflation is highest in last 48 years. Even the people are unable to purchase the basic foods requirement. They are unable to feed themselves and their childrens. So that is the situation in Pakistan, and because of that, the government is fearful, because the conditions for the government are very difficult to accept. They are saying that, the Pakistani politicians and the officials are saying that the conditions of IMF are beyond imagination. It will further accelerate the inflation. And why it is so? IMF is saying that hike in taxes is required to service your debt and to meet your import requirements and to increase your trade, reduce your deficits, etc. Because they are saying that there is a need of increase in the electricity and the power sector and the income tax and other things. and they are recommending from 11 to 12% of the increase in the taxes in mainly each and every sector. So if it will be done, then the price hike will be there, and already there is political chaos in Pakistan. They are saying that cut the expenditure on defense, and why they are saying that? Because what happens, mainly about 50% of the Pakistan's GDP goes to debt servicing, older debts. So Pakistan have to spend around 50% to debt servicing, and thereafter around 35% of its GDP goes to defense sector for the payment and the pensions and the equipments and the other things. So overall 35% of Pakistan's GDP goes to defense sector. So what is left behind? Only 15%. In 15%, what the rest of Pakistan will do? Only the defense sector is getting the largest chunk of money, and above that is the Purana Paap, पहले जो कर्ज ले रखे हैं. So because of that, it is very difficult situation for Pakistan to accept these things, and that is why IMF have recommended reduce the expenditure on defense sector, and on the name of threat from India, they have increased the expenditure on defense sector to such an extent that now the army officials are more powerful than the politicians, and that is why they cannot cut down the expenditure on defense even after IMF's recommendation. And one of the example is the Peshawar blast, which we will discuss in the next video, that how the allegations are there that the blast was not by any of the terrorist outfit, but it was the army orchestrated blast in Peshawar police line. That we will discuss in the coming video, next video, right? The research is going on that. So here they are saying that there is need of hike in fuel prices. Already the fuel prices are above the sky in Pakistan. There is around 250 Pakistani rupees is required for 1 liter of petrol. And as per the information, they had recently made a 35 rupees price hike in fuel. And still there is no fuel available in most of parts of Pakistan, because they don't have the forex reserve. Already the forex reserve in Pakistan has plummeted to $3.09 billion, which is only barely enough to survive for 3 weeks for Pakistan, and that too if they only import the essential things, fuels, foods, etc. And even now the Pakistani officials and the Pakistani government have stopped giving line of credit to any of the import except the food or the essential medicines. After that, they are not providing any line of credit, letter of credit, etc. And here the next demand of IMF is that market governed exchange rate. So as we all know, there are pegged rates and there are market governed rates and there are dirty pegged rates. So such kind of different kind of market exchange rates for the currencies are used by the nation. And here the IMF is saying that your currency rates are pegged rates or dirty managed rates. So you have to make it the market governed rate, exchange rate for your currency. And Pakistan says that if we will allow to do that, then the price, then the value of Pakistani rupee will go down further to such an extent that it will be unable to recover. It will become valueless. However, it is already going to happen because of the deteriorating value of Pakistani rupee in the black forex market. Because already the Central Bank of Pakistan is unable to provide the adequate amount of dollars to the importers and various other sectors which require the forex. And in the black market, already the dollars rate are very high in comparison with Pakistani rupee. And for that matter, many of the importers are unable to get their imported goods to their warehouses from the warehouses at the ports, because they don't have the dollars to pay for their imports. and for that matter they are unable to get it to their own warehouse, they are unable to pay. And that is what the IMF is saying, that you have to make the exchange rate as the market governed exchange rate in comparison with the hard currencies, and by that it will improve your import, it will improve your export and various other things. The cycle of market will be in proper channel, and for that matter you will be in position to service your debt, because already you are doing what, you are taking another loan to service the earlier loan, and by that vicious circle you have accumulated so much of debt that nowadays you are on the verge of bankruptcy. So that is the situation, and they are saying that cut the subsidy on various goods. The government is already providing subsidies on various items which are not necessary, like on the fuel, power, etc. And that is what the government is saying, that reduce the subsidy, and even if possible cut out all the subsidy on those goods and commodities which are not required, which are not essential things. Like there is no need of providing subsidy on power, but that is a political gimmick, that is a political issue. If any government will cut down the subsidy on the electricity, then that government is bound to lose the election. However, election होता ही कितना है पाकिस्तान में, the election is decided by the army of Pakistan, so for that matter it is just for the information in the press, but otherwise the reality is known to everybody, so we don't have to bother about that. So however, whatever it is, these are the demands of IMF, and it is beyond the imagination of Pakistan, because the Pakistani government is saying that we are unable to cut down the subsidy, we are unable to cut down the expenditure on defense sector because of the threat from Taliban, threat from the terrorist outfits, threat from India. So these are the things they are saying, and for that matter they are in great problem. And Pakistan is also reluctant to accept these conditions due to the political chaos already going on in Pakistan. Like the Imran Khan, when he had came to power, then he had said that we will make Pakistan so rich that we will be in position to give loans to other smaller countries. It was like a daydreaming by Imran Khan. However, he himself have got outstayed, and he himself had to get the money, to borrow the money from various organizations and the countries. But now again he is pitching the same tone, singing the same song, that we will be in position to give the other countries the loan, this government have ruined the economy of Pakistan, this, that, whatever it is. So he is now making various statements related to the economic situation of Pakistan, and he is saying that this has been brought to Pakistan by Shahbaz Sharif government. So these are the allegations that are being made by the rival political parties who are not in power right now, and they are doing this to make it possible to get the elections commenced as earlier as possible and to get back in power. However, if the army doesn't want that he should be back in power, then it is impossible for them, right? So the political chaos is one of the major reason because of which Pakistan is reluctant to accept the conditions of IMF. Next is already high cost of living. Already the inflation is at its 48 years peak in Pakistan, as well as the basic food commodities, basic needs of livelihood are at its highest price point. Even the people are saying that we are unable to purchase the flour, the bread, sugar, etc. Now the sugar has become a thing of luxury in Pakistan, and that is why it is very difficult for Shahbaz Sharif government to cut the subsidy further on the oil, electricity, etc. because again it will increase the transportation cost, marketing cost and other things, and it will again lead to the increase in the cost of living for the people. And for that matter, Pakistan is saying that these conditions are beyond imagination. Next is unrest in many regions. So Pakistan is saying that already we are facing the unrest in POK. We are facing the unrest in Balochistan. We are facing the threat at the border with Afghanistan, and for that matter we are unable to cut down the expenditure on defense sector, and that is why the IMF is not considering the legitimate threat we are facing with respect to the security of Pakistan, and they are recommending us cutting down that expenditure on defense sector, and that is why they are reluctant to accept it. However, what are the options in front of Pakistan? Already Pakistan have explored all the possible options. They reached out to Saudi Arabia, they reached out to UAE. UAE was very beautiful in its reply to Pakistan. They said that you have too much of assets like airports, ports, banks, etc., whatever it is. So why not you sell it down? You sell it to us, we will give you money. But as a philanthropy, we are not going to give you money. So many of the factors are behind that, and one of the major factor is the diplomacy with India. Because India is against Pakistan with respect to the concerns with POK, with Kashmir, with terrorism, and India have already conveyed it to the Middle East countries also, the Arabian Peninsula countries also, that whenever Pakistan becomes so capable that it can, even just it can attack India, then they never sigh out. But the present situation is such that if India wants to attack Pakistan and confiscate POK by force, then it is very easy for India to attack Pakistan and get back POK with muscle power, considering its internal chaos, political chaos, concerning its economic condition, concerning its issues in the armed forces. So all these are very conducive situation because of which India can get back POK if India wants, but it is not morally and ethically right to do it right now. And India is not such a country that India is going to take advantage of the problems, adverse conditions of any other nation, and that is why India will never do that. And even Pakistan knows that. And Pakistan even knows this also, that they are in the present situation because of the wars with India they had fought. Those wars have ravaged Pakistan's economy completely. Time and again they had to, in the quick successions, after Pakistan was in war in 1971, after the end of war, after surrendering to India, in quick successions Pakistan had to go to IMF for the bailout package 3 to 4 times, and that debt again ravaged the economy of Pakistan. As we had discussed earlier, that after independence Pakistan was in a better economic position in comparison with India, but they destroyed themselves. That is the reason why Pakistan is in present situation, and they had few options which they explored. First option was to go on to the Muslim countries, but these countries already denied any help for Pakistan. Next was China. So China is fed up of helping out Pakistan and losing its more money. So they said that we can't do it. America already against Pakistan because of its nearness to China. Earlier America used to help Pakistan, but now they are in no mood to help out Pakistan. And thereafter the last option is for them is to go to IMF, and they had to accept the IMF conditions. Then only IMF is going to give bailout package to Pakistan. Next installment of that extended facility which is currently on for Pakistan. But they are of the view that this time we are going to get your promises fulfilled. Time and again you had promised us several things, but you never fulfilled it. What you did? You forgot your promises, you renegated the promises, and for that matter, this time we will make sure that you fulfill your promises, and then only we are going to give you money. And why Pakistan will have to accept it? Because there are no other avenues left for Pakistan. As we know that Pakistan had to sell its part of embassy in America to get some money. Now they are selling the property, overseas property of Pakistan to different countries to get money. So that is the thing. However, the Pakistan will have to accept the conditions of IMF, and if Pakistan accepts the condition for IMF, then it will be very helpful for India also. And why it will be helpful? Because as the expenditure on the defense sector will be reduced, then the defense sector, the armed forces will, the army will of Pakistan will be left out with very less amount of money. And because of that, what they will have to do? They will have to focus on genuine expenditures, but they will not be in position to waste their money to make a situation that will be problematic for India. But they will have to ensure their security only. They will not be with the surplus money that they can use as it is to disturb India only. Right? So that will be helpful. However, let us see what goes on. What will be the situation of Pakistan, because already Pakistan is left with only money that will be sufficient for Pakistan for 3 weeks, and after it Pakistan will not be in position to spend more money to import to oils and other things. So whatever happens after that, we will see here only. And for that matter, we finish off our discussion here. Thank you very much, and please, those who have not subscribed our channel, subscribe the channel. It motivates us, and do press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos, and do follow us on our Facebook and Instagram handle. This is our website, and here there is a link for the app also in the description below, so you can download our app also. There are various free courses, there are various paid courses also. Free study materials are available on our website and app, which will be very helpful for you. So go on to download the app and get benefited out of the free study materials and other things which are available on our app. Thank you very much and have a nice day.